Hello everybody, this is Starman, and welcome back to Let's Play Betrayal at Krondor. Well, last time you remembered, we entered the Nighthawk stronghold under Caval Run, and we stopped just as we came upon this treasure chest, which is clearly booby-trapped. And James was able to deactivate it, and we find, well, actually, rather a nice bit of treasure here. I don't have room for the icer, but we can definitely use a elven bow for James. Though admittedly James has not been doing much in the way of archery. And well, it turned out this was a good place to stop, being another dead end. But hey, it would not do for us not to completely exterminate the Nighthawks and their nest, as it were. And looks like another chest. You tie these things before you go and untie them after you stop. Well, that's an obvious one. Shoes. Seriously, I cannot fit one more ruby into my pack. Yeah, well, I don't really need the ruby at this point, but it's just the principle of leaving good gems behind. And okay, this actually led us back to the very first room. And yeah, this one with the dead body. And yeah, we skipped this doorway. Okay, 5 Nighthawks. Alright, well, that worked out incredibly well. And never more to hell word lock chest. Whoever has it is angry. Whoever loses it is angrier. Whoever wins it has it no more. Well, that would be an argument, but from what I recall, the wording on this one is a bit weird. It is, in fact, dispute. Hey, gold, and Sarig's Bane, which we can't take because we're overburdened already. Yeah, I'm wondering how the heck I cleaned this place out back in the day when I played through this game the way you're supposed to. and just started looting corpses and trying to haul everything up to the surface. And I think, yeah, there's another pit there. And I thought these were the guys that I attacked before, but apparently not, because they were waiting on us. Well, elven bow, or elven arrows, rather. And yeah, this one we did take before. So that was the group that we ambushed earlier. And yeah, we found this one before. Yeah, best to get these edges on the map worked out. And I think there was something this way we didn't explore thoroughly before, if I remember correctly. Alright, that's the dead end that leads up to the keep proper. And, well, we know where we are on the world map. And let's see, never two treasure chests. Which, yeah, they said we need rest, and we could stand to heal a bit. The sparkling globe can float on water and weighs not more than a feather. Yet despite its weight, 10 giants could never pick it up. Well, sparkling globe, I believe that would be a bubble. And not much here apart from More to Hell brooch and this other one. 10 trolls strength, 10 trolls length. 1 troll can pick it up, no troll can stand it up. Well, that would be a rope. And this is a book. And I need to make room for this, so you have to lose something. So let's see what we've got. A translation of an ancient account of the travels of an abbot from Malek's Cross, the book was filled with stories and notes on mythology. Apparently the abbot had been looking for proof of the existence of a sword known as the Garda Ravace, a curse blade that was often associated with the Mordhel. Shortly before the end of the journal, here lay a curious table. And so I came unto the Abbey of Killian, which stood unto the western fringe of the forest of the Eladhel, so named Elvandar. And there was shown a fairy chest upon whose face were the runes of the common unto the elven and Mordehel kin. A certain favor then did turn the strange cylinders which are on the face of the chest, forming a word unfamiliar to me, Glamored Hell. But one which threw open the latches of the box closed the lid of the box. From within he brought forth a finely jeweled hilt, which he called the Gaida. The father then told me it had come from a ruin of an ancient place, and since there was much misfortune come into their abbey, and they willed it should be returned there for its eternal rest. He also did tell me of other things strange and wondrous of the legend, saying a spell had been bound into a shell that would repair the blade that had been so long ago broken away, describing the shell as one matched with an uneven surface of 10 misinformed lumps. Now, what the heck does that have to do with us? Well, two things, one of which is we will be able to go search for the Garda Ravache at some point in the future. But more importantly, you'll recall, since we kind of sequence jumped and had a chance to go talk to Owyn's cousin a little before the game plans to have us meet her, that we just so happened to hear her story about the book that told the tale, and how she had loaned it to her good friend and suitor, Navan Dusandu, since it talked a bit about the family history, along with the legends of the the sword. And in case you hadn't figured it out from the clue that Jason, the kitchen boy at the Black Sheep Tavern, told us that the man leading the Nighthawks smelled of flowers, and when we ran into Navan earlier, he smelled of jasmine. Navan Dusandu is, in fact, our mystery Nighthawk leader. But he's a bit more than that as well. And we'll go ahead and travel a bit this night, since we've still got the light spell active. And we'll probably run into some manner of ambush on the road here. Okay, yeah, they're majorly hinting about us needing sleep, so let's go ahead and sleep a bit more. As we take the road up to Caval Keep. And this is in fact just a bar, not a... oh, well, there is an inn. And we'll go ahead and rest everybody up to full health. Let's make a quick stop back in Caval Keep just for appearances, because even though we do know what game Navan is about now, or at least part of it, and we'll probably run into the cousin again. Yep. Did I ever tell you that you show up at the strangest of times? It's nice to see you. What are you doing wandering around unescorted? Honestly, you astonish me. By your age, most girls have the common sense to realize there are dangerous types wandering about in the open. How's that for an introduction? You're only 4 years older than me, Owyn, and I don't see that my age has anything to do with it. I just like to come out here to think when I have a problem that won't solve itself or otherwise. It also gives me a safe harbor from Favre when he's on one of his raging fits. Is he on one at the moment? One of the worst I've ever seen. He's fired the kitchen staff, dismissed the guard, thrown out all 5 of my maids. He's been that way since about dinner time last evening. I tried to ask him what had him so upset, but he only told me that he received some very bad news from a messenger regarding a financial arrangement which he'd made. Have any idea what the note said? Who knows? He's always on about conspiracy this, conspiracy that. It's like he's afraid somebody's about to find out some dire secret about the family when there's nothing to hide. It's getting terribly repetitive, really. So you have this frightful look on your face as if there's something you're afraid to speak to me about. What is it? Well, we can now ask her about the murder. You'll forgive us if we look a little ragged, but we're trying to find out about a murder that took place in Romney. We've been searching about for a while. Do you think the murderer escaped to Caval Keep? We're not sure. All that we know at the moment is that it might have something to do with a brass spyglass or a silver spider we found near the bodies. I don't suppose the spyglass had a star inscribed on it, did it? I can't recall. Why would that be important? For someone who's part of the family, you certainly don't know much about the family lore. We used to have a spyglass that sat in a glass case in the entryway of the keep. There was a legend that if a person knew the right things to think, they could use the spyglass to spy on the minds of others. It was in the family for generations, but it disappeared about the time that Neville was killed in the wine cellar all those centuries ago, or all those years ago. Father accused the workman of having stolen it. And what things is a person supposed to think about to make the spyglass work? I don't know. Neville used to tease me, and he told me he knew what to think, and that he could use it, but he never did. It was only a legend, after all. So yeah, the spyglass that we have. Relatively simple device. The spyglass was a cylinder brass fitted with a large glass end on one end and a number of smaller lenses on the opposite side. And this one, it does not appear to be marked with a star, but that does seem to be a rather amazing coincidence, doesn't it? And yeah, we can see a house and the town and the place with the mountain right there. But yeah, that is another hint that, you know, Neville, her dead older brother, used to talk about the spyglass and how it disappeared about the same time he did. And apparently the spyglass belonged to this trader fellow who sounds alike like Navon de Sandu. Beginning to see where this is going, kids? And just so we have one more bit of evidence, because the note that we found in a book's chest, we still have to check that out. The door was ajar. They entered the building and were greeted by a man behind a small counter. "I am the chief lender here. My name is Santuus. Can I help you?" James brought out the accountant's roll they had discovered in the book's magic chest and placed it on the counter. "We were wondering what you might be able to tell us about the details of this note. It has your mark on the bottom." "Yes, I see," the man replied. Pushing his eyeglasses down onto the bridge of his nose, he began to examine it carefully, first looking at the top of his note, then glancing down at the bottom with a scowl, then back to the top like a small child following the actions of a bouncing ball. At last he spoke. "I'm afraid that to make an exact amount of our records we would need a name and a date. It would be impossible for me to sort out otherwise. I wonder why there's no name attached to it." "Are you sure there's no other way to make a verification?" James asked. "Quite sure," Santuus replied, "though I can tell you that judging by the size of the deposit, it was definitely a man of high position, either a lord or a merchant with foreign contacts." James thanked the man as they let themselves out. So, clearly we are meant to think that either Count Corvallis, who is acting suspicious, or Navon have something to do with the Nighthawks. Well, at this point we know it's definitely Navon, but let's go ahead and talk to Count Corvallis. "Kindly tell me, sir, what I have done to make myself so attractive to the minuscule of the world. From the moment I first stepped into my bedchamber this morning, I've had servants swarming about me like nits, and bothersome relations at my ankles. Will you kindly leave me in peace?" "We have very grave business to attend to, and I must speak to you." "Whatever you must do, I'm quite certain it doesn't involve me. I don't care what the nature of your business is about, senor. I have other concerns." "Is that so? Have you concerns above and beyond the Prince of Krondor? If so, I shall make eager account of them before him when I return. Go on and spell them out so I may take them down. I'm sure Arufa will be fascinated." "The Prince, you say? Please understand that there are certain things going on that I am not at liberty to discuss. Suffice it to say, I've had something of a disagreement with the priest of the Temple Kahuli and Kenting Rush over a private matter. So if you may excuse my outburst, I'll be happy to be of service to the Prince. What precisely can I do for you?" Well, we can ask him about the finances and the Nighthawks. "There is a moneylender that lives here in town." "Is Santius? Yes, I know him well. Strange Quigian fellow." "Then you have done business with him recently?" "Why should it concern you? I paid my taxes to the kingdom." "We wish to borrow money, and we want to make certain that we had dealt with a reputable firm. I thought that if you had done business with him, made any deposits, perhaps you might know if he was an honest man." "Ah, suspicion in business is a healthy tactic. To answer you, I've had no need to borrow any funds of late. In fact, I've made several substantial deposits recently. Some of my better placed investments provide me with comfortable profits, Banff be praised, and Santius will do well by you." Okay, so he hasn't been seeing the moneylender, but someone has. "I want a direct answer from you, Count. Do you have any association with the Guild of Death, yes or no?" "What nonsense is this? Why should you even believe it possible?" "Navon de Sandu has told us you have hired assassins on many occasions." "As bodyguards. Who better to hire me to watch me than those who have made a profession of stalking others? But I've never employed a member of the Guild of Assassins for any other cause. Those in my employ guard my estates and the persons of myself and my daughter. Nothing else." "How do you manage to contact these men?" "I asked the priest of Kahuli to send them in to me, so I never knew how to contact them directly. After the keep burned down, I asked for help, but the priest told me the Nighthawks had fallen out of disfavor with the temple, and they could no longer summon them to service." Okay, so that is a pretty good sign that, again, Count Corvallis has nothing to do with the Nighthawks, or so he claims, but I would hardly say that he is innocent. So we'll go ahead and check in at the inn. 143 gold. Let's talk with Peter the Grey here. "Evening, gents. Let me know if you need anything." "The three of us are fine, but it sounds as if you've had better days. Is something troubling you, friend?" "I don't suppose you'd be interested in becoming a scully, would you, lad?" I can honestly say it's not on my list of the ambitions at the moment, no. Having problems with the help? I wouldn't call it problems so much as disappointments. I don't know what to say to the lad. He's a good enough boy, kind, honest, hard-working, but all in all, he doesn't have the faintest idea which end of the pan's to handle. I tried for weeks to teach him something of how to cook so the wife and I could take some time off. When it comes to cooking, he's as dense as the thunder hell. I don't know what else to do, but enough about me. What can Peter do for you? Well, we can't ask him about the Nighthawks or anything else that we haven't already asked, so we'll leave him in peace. And go ahead and swing by the shop to see if I can sell off a little bit of our excess. Yeah, it has no use for poison arrows, but he will take gems. Well, almost everybody will take gems. And it did just occur to me, I do need to, yeah, we'll need to get rid of that note. And might as well just get rid of it now. And I'm going to give some of my lockpicks to Gorath, because he might need them soon. And I guess we won't run into the cousin again walking just outside the keep. As long as we're walking about this way. Yeah, nothing new in the boxes here. And yeah, nothing immediately useful in there. So, it looks like our next stop is questioning the priests of the Temple of Kahuli. And that is where we will begin next time. We'll see you then.